Now, let's begin. When Daniel first brought it up, I laughed. Not kindly, but in a way that cut, almost mocking. Seriously? I scoffed, shaking my head. You're jealous of Ethan. He's my closest friend. We've been inseparable since college. You're being ridiculous. Daniel's jaw tightened, but he didn't fire back. Instead, he simply nodded slowly and sank into silence. The kind that feels heavier than any words. That night, I told my sister, Daniel's acting insecure. He thinks Ethan's a threat. It's childish. She agreed with me, and I felt smug for brushing his worries aside. Ethan had always been there for me. Through breakups, career disappointments, even when I first started dating Daniel. He was the person I could always confide in without judgment. But what I failed to see was how it looked from Daniel's perspective. Ethan messaged me constantly, and I never hesitated to reply. I'd laugh at his texts in the middle of dinner with Daniel, leaving him staring at me from across the table. We shared private jokes, hugged longer than necessary, and often fell silent the moment Daniel entered the room. I told myself it was innocent. But deep down, I knew it wasn't as harmless as I pretended. A few weeks later, Daniel tried again. One evening, he said quietly, "Sophie, I need you to understand something. It feels like you're giving Ethan parts of yourself that should belong to us, belong to me." I rolled my eyes, irritated. "You're overreacting. He's just a friend. Stop trying to control me." That was the moment something shifted in him. I saw it in his eyes. Not anger, but a calm resolve, like a decision had been made. I mistook his silence as my victory, too self-righteous to realize I was already losing something vital. Over the next month, Daniel changed. Not explosively, but in small, unsettling ways. He stopped asking where I was when I met up with Ethan. He no longer stayed awake waiting for me when I came home late. The man who once noticed every little detail of my day now seemed distant, detached. At first, I thought this was progress. That he had finally stopped obsessing. But instead of feeling relief, I felt empty. His quietness weighed heavier than our arguments ever had. Meanwhile, Ethan was still ever present, texting, calling, inviting me out. Out of spite, I leaned into him more. If Daniel didn't care, then fine. I laughed louder at Ethan's jokes, stayed out later, shared even more secrets. But the more I gave Ethan my attention, the colder my home became. Dinners were eaten in silence. Nights ended with Daniel turning his back to me without a word. Then, one Friday night, I came home after being out with Ethan. And found Daniel sitting in the living room. A suitcase at his side. My stomach dropped. "What are you doing?" I asked, trying to sound steady, though my voice trembled. He looked at me, not with anger, not with sadness, but with indifference. "I can't do this anymore, Sophie," he said evenly. "I told you how it made me feel, and you mocked me. I won't beg for respect in my own marriage." I froze. "Wait, you're leaving me because of Ethan?" "Really?" My words tumbled out in panic. But Daniel didn't waver. He drew in a slow breath. "This isn't about Ethan. It's about you. You made me a stranger in my own marriage, and I'm done." It felt like the ground vanished beneath me. I had always believed Daniel would never leave. That no matter how far I pushed, he would stay. But standing there with his suitcase, he already looked like a man who had left long before tonight. I stumbled toward him, desperation clawing at my chest. "Daniel, please don't do this. Ethan's just a friend." I was wrong to laugh at you. I didn't mean it. My voice cracked, stripped of all confidence. But Daniel shook his head. You don't understand, Sophie. You didn't just laugh, you dismissed me. You treated my feelings like they didn't matter. You mocked me while I was drowning. His words struck like stones. For the first time, I saw myself through his eyes. The eye rolls, the sarcasm. The way I brushed off his concerns. The way I chose Ethan's validation over Daniel's trust. Suddenly, it wasn't about jealousy anymore. It was about betrayal. Not physical, but emotional, deep, cutting, undeniable. I reached for his hand. We can fix this. Please, I'll stop seeing Ethan. I'll do anything. Every word trembled with desperation. But Daniel gently pulled his hand away. Already at peace with his decision. I gave you years, he said softly. I begged you to see me, but you never did. You only saw a jealous husband to mock. Now, I finally see myself, and I know I deserve better. He lifted the suitcase and walked out the door. The silence that followed crushed me. I sank into the couch. Haunted by every cruel laugh, every dismissive word. Ethan's name flashed on my phone. But for the first time, I didn't care. His attention meant nothing compared to what I had just lost. I had believed Daniel would always stay. No matter how much I pushed. But I was wrong. My mockery had carved a canyon between us. And when he finally crossed it, he never looked back. That night, I realized too late. The man I dismissed as jealous was the only one who had truly loved me. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.